Hello, welcome back to the Shipmate YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about the 4 policies you need to set on your Shopify store. So guys, if you've been selling on Shopify, you probably know if you go into settings and then under legal, there's 4 policies that you need to fill out. These policies are your privacy policy, your refund policy, your shipping policy, and your terms of service. Now, these are really important policies because they lay out the expectations for your customers. So we're going to start off with privacy policy. Privacy policy is probably the easiest and simplest one. It has to deal with how you manage people's personal information, especially identifying information like account numbers, addresses, names, things like that. There's a button there where you can just hit and auto-generate one. But I recommend that you read this very carefully because you're going to be on the hook there for what it does say. So you want to make sure it represents you and your business well. The next thing we want to talk about is terms of service. Terms of service is a little harder to explain, but essentially it lays out, the rights and duties for both the user and the owner of the software, right? This sets out who has what rights, who has what duties, what you can do on the site, what you can't do on the site, who owns the content, what is the jurisdiction, right? Like if there's a dispute, all kinds of legal mumbo jumbo. Luckily, once again, there's another auto-generate button here, but you want to make sure, like I said, that everything that's there is how you want it to be, because this is the legal mumbo jumbo of your site, and you want to make sure that it represents you and your brand. Now let's get into the 2 that I find to be a lot more interesting, which is the refund and return policy. There's also an auto-generate button here, but this is something that I recommend you take and put a lot more thought into. You want to consider things like, do I accept returns? And if I do accept returns, what kind of condition do they have to be in? Is there certain types of items or goods that I do not want to receive returns for? Who pays shipping? Is it up to me? Is it up to the customer who bought it? How long do they have to place a return? All these kinds of specifics need to be spelled out pretty clearly in this return policy. Return policies are very important to customer satisfaction, and a lot of customers will abandon carts if there is not a return policy that they agree with kind of spelled out for them. So it's really important to make sure that this is an honest return policy. Usually I like to be a little generous with my return policies, but you want to make sure it's honest, transparent, and that it's easy to understand, because you want grandma to be able to come here, shop, and know what she can return, when she can return it, and what that process looks like. Once again, there's an auto-generate button, but you're going to want to make sure that it actively reflects how you manage your returns. The final policy we're going to talk about is my favorite, is the shipping policy. So, here at Shipmate, we're all about shipping. And what I really want to talk about is what kinds of services do you offer, right? You want to make sure if there's other services available besides standard shipping, you want to lay out all those services. You want to lay out, is there a free shipping threshold? Is there any kind of upgrade threshold? Like some sellers like to give away free express shipping on orders over $100 or things like that. Lay all this out, right? Make sure people know, where those thresholds are. What do your transit times look like, right? Is there 1 to 2 day handling? Is there 3-day handling? Does your packages take 2 days to reach the customer, 3 days to reach the customer, 5 days to reach the customer, 2 weeks, a month? How long should they expect to wait for their goods? This is an important piece of information that matters to a lot of customers. A lot of customers want to know, do you ship to where they live? They might live in another country or on a minor outlying island. And some companies don't ship to these places or charge an additional fee. So in your shipping policy is really where you want to lay all of this out and make sure that your customers know what to expect in terms of shipping when they buy from you. This is the only field on Shopify for these policies that doesn't have an autofill button. So it's really up to you to define how shipping works specifically to your business and to lay it out pretty clearly. Sometimes it makes sense to mention if anything is insured, other things like that. So anything that's relevant to shipping, you really want to put down here and make sure that your customers are aware of it, because this is your opportunity to do so. So guys, these are 4 policies that are really important to define in your Shopify store, because they can really affect how customers view you, your brand, and really impact that overall customer experience. You'd be surprised how many customers today want to know how quickly they're receiving something. They want to know how easily they can return things. They want to know what you're doing with their data. So it's really important to have these policies in place and to do your best to follow them and adhere to them. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. If you could do us a favor, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. We're trying to get to 3,000, and we need your help to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week with another exciting episode.